Divorce truly has become what many consider a silent epidemic of our time. And your three identified causes, hardness of heart, unforgiveness, and selfishness, are indeed at the core of many relationship breakdowns. Let me expand on these insights. The silent pandemic of our generation. Divorce rates have reached unprecedented levels in modern society, affecting not just couples, but entire families, communities, and future generations. Unlike other pandemics that capture headlines and mobilize resources, this relationship crisis often goes unaddressed until it is too late. The statistics are sobering, with divorce rates hovering around 40 to 50% in many developed countries. We were witnessing the breakdown of what was once considered society's foundational institution. The hardness of heart. The first cause you have identified, hardness of heart, is perhaps the most fundamental. This refers to the gradual emotional callousness that develops when couples stop being vulnerable with each other. In healthy relationships, hearts remain soft, open, and receptive to their partner's needs, feelings, and perspectives. Hardness of heart manifests in several ways. Emotional withdrawal. Partners begin to protect themselves by building walls instead of bridges. Loss of empathy. The ability to truly understand and feel for one's spouse diminishes. Indifference to pain. When one partner hurts, the other becomes increasingly unmoved. Resistance to change. Hearts become rigid, unwilling to adapt or grow together. This hardening often happens gradually, like a slow-forming callus. Small hurts, unresolved conflicts, and daily stresses accumulate until partners become strangers living under the same roof. The tender intimacy that once characterized their relationship is replaced by cold coexistence. Modern life accelerates this process. The constant pressure of work, technology distractions, and societal expectations leaves little time for the vulnerable conversations that keep hearts soft. Couples become task-oriented rather than relationship-focused, treating marriage like a business partnership rather than a sacred bond. The spirit of unforgiveness. Your second point about unforgiveness is equally crucial. Forgiveness is the lifeblood of any lasting relationship, yet it is becoming increasingly rare in our culture of instant gratification and disposable relationships. Unforgiveness operates like a poison that slowly destroys relationships from within. Accumulation of resentment. Small offenses pile up like unpaid debts, creating an overwhelming burden. Scorekeeping mentality. Partners begin tallying wrongs instead of celebrating rights. Emotional imprisonment. Both the offended and offender become trapped in cycles of hurt and guilt. Communication breakdown. Unresolved issues create barriers to honest, open dialogue. The spirit of unforgiveness is particularly destructive because it prevents healing and growth. When couples refuse to truly forgive, not just say the words but release the emotional grip of past hurts, they remain stuck in destructive patterns. Each new conflict becomes colored by old wounds, making resolution increasingly difficult. Our culture's emphasis on individual rights and personal validation often works against forgiveness. We are taught to stand up for ourselves, to not let others walk all over us, but we are rarely taught the strength required for genuine forgiveness. This creates relationships where partners are more focused on being right than being reconciled. The selfishness. The third cause, selfishness, might be the most pervasive in our individualistic society. Modern culture celebrates self-actualization, personal fulfillment, and individual happiness, often at the expense of sacrificial love and commitment. Selfishness in marriage manifests as "what is in it for me" mentality. Relationships become transactional rather than transformational. Unwillingness to sacrifice. Partners expect benefits without corresponding investment. Emotional immaturity. Inability to delay gratification or consider long-term consequences. Consumer approach to love. Treating spouses like products that can be upgraded or replaced. This selfishness is often disguised as self-care or personal growth, but it fundamentally misunderstands the nature of committed relationships. True love requires dying to self, putting another's needs alongside or even above your own. When both partners operate from a selfish mindset, the relationship becomes a battleground rather than a sanctuary. Social media and consumer culture fuel this selfishness by constantly presenting alternatives and promoting the idea that we deserve better, more, or different. The grass always appears greener elsewhere, making commitment feel like settling rather than choosing. The interconnected nature of these causes. These three causes do not operate in isolation. They feed and reinforce each other. Selfishness leads to hardness of heart, which makes forgiveness more difficult. Unforgiveness breeds resentment, which hardens hearts further. Hard hearts become increasingly self-protective and selfish. Divorce is like an unspoken pandemic of our times. That is a thought-provoking way to describe how widespread divorce has become in modern society. Divorce rates have remained quite high in many countries, affecting families and communities in ways that might parallel how a pandemic spreads through populations. The comparison is interesting because both divorce and pandemics can have widespread social impact, ripple effects on families and communities, economic consequences, emotional and psychological effects that extend beyond the immediate parties involved. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be updated for more inspiring content. You can also leave a comment and share the video so that we could reach and inspire more people. Thank you, and to God be all the glory.